I guess you've wondered where I've been. The search to find the love within. I can't wait to let you know I got a thing for you. Okay, cool. Take one. We're back, and we're here. Today's video, nice and simply put, why I started training. Okay, something like that. Why I started training. And I'm just gonna essentially go through my life coming up and up to where I am now, where I'm going, mindset, identity, all of that fun stuff. We're gonna go straight into it. All right, so obviously you guys know me, Michael Knight, and I didn't always have the physique I had, right? I didn't always have this body. I didn't always have this confidence. I didn't always have this knowledge, this authentic idea of who I am, right? And obviously that is subjective. It is subject to change, right? I'm not saying I am a finished product. I'm far from it. What I am saying though is it's only a recent purview that I'm viewing myself in, which is that I'm changing, but in an upward trajectory. Okay. Now, for some of you, you might just be living life, and the position on where you are at right now is stagnant. Nothing special. There's nothing you're necessarily working towards. You look pretty average, and you might be happy. You understand? You might be happy, and some people will sit there and say, oh, if you're happy, then no worries, everything's okay. Well, each to their own, right? I would always argue you could be happier. You can develop things in your life that can provide you more meaning, more fulfillment, and therefore more true happiness. Happiness that not only serves you, but can serve others. Because I guarantee you, when I walk into a room and people look at me, they can only think one of two things. Wow, his physique is so great. His physique is amazing. He must have put so much time and effort into that. Whether it means that he's sleeping on time, he's eating well, he's training hard, and those three things, they make up a good amount of someone's life. He's disciplined. That's what people can say. They can either say that sort of thing, or they can say, oh, who does he think he is? Oh, he's too big. Oh, he looks kind of like, they'll have something negative to say, right? We don't need to listen to the latter. We can focus on the first, which is that you can inspire others based on showing off who you are, right? And so what I'm saying is, a lot of you might not have nothing to show off. You might not have anything necessarily special about you. You could be happier if you did. You could help a lot of others if you did. You understand? Moving on. So, for those of you who do not know, I actually grew up in a sporting background. I played football from as early as I can remember. And the only reason I stopped fast forward, right, is because I reached an age where it made more sense to pursue other things in life than to continue the strenuous dedication it would have taken to continue trying to play this sport. And if you look at everything that goes into it and what's kind of required in order to play at a high level, I wasn't meeting the criteria. I was just playing grassroots football, right? And if you live in the UK, you'll somewhat understand where I'm coming from, what this means. I wasn't in the academy. I wasn't in these top teams in these leagues that you hear about. I wasn't there for whatever reason. Maybe I just wasn't there, okay? And so I decided to pick a different path of life, which is fine. So I grew up, and I obviously was still a fanatic about physical health and sports, and just a healthy lifestyle. See, one thing about me is that I was never going to be an overweight fat loser, never. Okay, even if I stopped playing football, even if I stopped even just going to the gym, I was still going to be at home doing push-ups, making sure that I'm not feeding myself bullshit. I've not eaten a single sweet because I was a young kid. I was like, what, 13 years old. I said, you know what, I'm just going to stop eating sweets because I developed a mindset to myself. I told myself, you know what, when I look at sweets, you know what I think of, you know how I view them. All I see this is as flavored sugar that they're dishing out to people. And by the way, that's what it used to be. I mean, that's what I would assume it used to be. Because now, if you look at all the chemicals, all the bullshit people are pumping into your foods, into the snacks, and you're willingly feeding this to your children, bro. You know, you're willingly feeding this to people that you love. You know, times have changed. What we know conventionally isn't as good for us. Okay? Sweets, snacks, all these edible treats, right? What we know them to be bad for us as, what I'm trying to say is now, they're probably a lot worse now. But anyway, I digress for now, right? I decided to get into calisthenics. I'm going to put some clips up as well. And I enjoyed it. It was very fun. I had a calisthenics park near my house. I'm going to tell a little story about that because I don't know, every time I click the record on this thing, the time is like it fast forwards so fast. Somehow I'm already 6 minutes in. I can't go into detail about certain stories. I'll be sat here forever. But hopefully just, you know, you can just subscribe, man. Jesus Christ. Just subscribe, okay? Listen. Right. Just subscribe. What do you mean just subscribe? Give them something to subscribe about. Anyway. But what's it called? It was like a 5-minute walk from my house where I used to live. I had a little calisthenics park. That's where I was training. I would get up every day. I would go there. I would train. I would set up a little plan. I would make myself a plan. I was educating myself to the fullest because I was struggling. There were things I was struggling at. If you do calisthenics yourself, you'll know a lot of the cool things that you see online. You want to replicate them. It takes time. You have to go through a lot of progression. Okay? You will never get anywhere in your progress in terms of calisthenics without typing up the words progression, because everything, you have to start from level 1 to 2 to 3. Calisthenics is great just because of how much it constructs a mental model of how to progress. It puts that in your brain and you want to apply that to different areas of life. It's great. But anyway, as time went on, 2 things happened. I moved house, meaning I no longer had the ease of access to train at that outdoor gym that I had. And the second thing was that it became more and more of a realization to me that my strength to body weight ratio was not good enough. It was not sufficient. I was too heavy for the strength that was required for me to perform certain activities in calisthenics. So I decided, you know what? Going forward, even though I do like calisthenics, what it kind of makes more sense for me to do is to increase my amount of strength. Okay, is to increase my strength. And then maybe I can do a lot of the cooler stuff. And if you look at my pull-ups now, I don't think I actually have them on record. It would have been quite nice to show them. So I'll show you right now. I'll get some today. Is it today? Anyway, I'll get some this week. My pull-ups, like I'm pulling up from you know, here to waist. I'm pulling up to waist now. I never used to be able to do that. Why? Because I was too heavy and I wasn't strong enough. Now I'm strong enough and I weigh the same, but what has happened is over the past year or so is I have lost a considerable amount of weight, and this was in terms of fat and some other things. But then I've put on a lot of muscle. In fact, I don't even think I lost that much fat. Like I must have lost some things because I put on that much muscle. You understand? So now my strength has reached a certain level where I'm able to do so much cool shit, right? Like if I was to go back into calisthenics, which I could if I mean, you can do both, right? Why not? But anyway, so that's that being said. But why train though? Why train? Well, one thing you must understand is before hopping onto this self-improvement journey, right, and really and finding out what it means to be your true self as a man, masculine self-actualization, right? We all, especially as men, we all have this idea. We all have this guy in our minds, in our brain that we would love to be. That we would love to be. Okay? And there's a number of things stopping us from getting there. There's a number of things we need to change in our lives before we can get there. My body was one of them. I didn't have the physique of the guy that I picture in my head that I want to be in 10 years' time. I didn't have the physique he had. So I had to train. I had to make that change. It was hard. It was tough in the beginning, you know. It was cold. I was training outside. I was on my own. I had so many different factors telling me quit, telling me stop. I felt embarrassed at times. Yes, I made it fun at times and I made it look cool, but that only came after I got over that hurdle. Sometimes you have to just get over the hurdle first. You know? A lot of you are quitting during the hurdles, man. You know? Anyway, I realized I'm so much better than the current body I'm in. I'm so much better than that. I'm so much more, and I can be so much more. And I just pursued it. I pursued it. I started going to the gym. I didn't stop just because I moved house. I didn't stop training. My calisthenics gym, I didn't stop training. I just changed my form, the way I trained. I just trained in your conventional gym now, where you see I'll put, just follow me and look at the, you'll see where I train. And I started training and working on my body. What this did for my confidence is unmatched. The person I was before is completely different to the person I am now after training. You understand? But the truth is, I didn't just train and work on my physique. I've done so much work to improve who I am intrinsically, not only externally. You understand? And that is what I believe is missing from a lot of people nowadays, because you'll get so many fitness trainers and whatever, and these people are great. Obviously, they're helping people develop a body. They're really adding to the lower level of what I would call the population, right? You look at your average guy outside, obviously, maybe, regardless, it doesn't make an excuse for you not to have a somewhat decent physique. You understand? You look at the guy, he's ugly, unattractive. I was not trying to be like that. And fitness coaches, they're doing their thing. But the issue is, if you want to get some random average Joe and tell him, oh, we're going to give you this program, we're going to give you this training split, and you're going to look great, you're going to look good. Okay, he's going to be amped up and ready. But when the going gets tough, he's going to quit. He's not going to be on it. I've been in coaching programs, and you get they're always talking about, if the client quits, if the client for some reason stops or asks for a refund. Why would that ever even be a possibility? Why? Why should that be a possibility? I don't think I've worked a couple jobs in my life. I've never quit. I've put myself in certain commitments. I've never quit. I've finished it 100%. Why? That's because that's who I am. I own the identity. I possess the identity of a person who finishes what he starts. Or else I'll prefer not to start it. Right? And a lot of people don't have that kind of identity. They haven't built that up over time. They're not tenacious. You get me? So if I can inspire one or more people to work on who they are, the understandings they have behind what they want to do. For example, the reason why do you want a physique? If I can understand these things about you, improve your identity, I want to ask you questions about who you want to be. Who is this person? What problems has he overcome? Is he able to inspire? If I can find these things out about you, there's no way you will not, in 3 months, have a physique like mine, or even better. There's no way. And that's what I do. That's what this is all about. Masculine self-actualization. It's so much more than just your physique. It's so much more than just your mind. It's so much more than just your ability to socially communicate. It's so much more than just your appearance. The black pill. We could go down that road. We don't have to. Not today. This is a 15-minute video, right? There's so much more to life than just those things. And I hope you guys will stay along for the journey, right? This is what I do it for, the masculine self-actualization protocol, okay? If you're someone who, you know, understands that, you know what, there's more to this life, and I'd like to experience it, I'd like some assistance, you know what to do. There's a link in the description, and I'll help you out. I'll get you training, I'll get your mind right, okay? It's been Michael Nye. It's been great to speak to you all. We'll see you soon.